Okay, so in today's video I'm going to be building the Lego Harry Potter Collector's Edition Hogwarts Express. So if you want to see that, then keep on watching. Okay, so welcome back to part 2 of building the Lego Collector's Edition Hogwarts Express. So in this one we have book number 2, obviously, and book number 2 we built the track that the train sits on, and we also built the carriage behind the actual train bit, which is like a coal cart. So yeah, that's what we're building today, and then the next one will be the actual carriage with the scenes in that we're putting all the minifigures in, and then the fourth one is the station. So those two will be out in the next couple of weeks as well, but for now, obviously, as you can see, we have book 2, and we are currently building the track, like I said, the track that the train goes onto. So yeah, that's the first thing in this book, and to be honest, it was an absolute pain because these really long bits before I'd actually, as you can see right here, they all kept breaking apart. So while I was actually trying to build it, it just kept breaking apart and I had to keep kind of like putting it back together again. But once it was like one solid structure, it was kind of okay. But yeah, getting it to that point was a bit of a pain, especially because it's so long as well. Like, it's literally like 4 foot long. So yeah, like this bit that I'm building now is only half of it. So you build half at a time and then it joins in the middle, which is another thing that's actually kind of annoying, because the joins in the middle aren't that great, and they do tend, like when you're trying to move it, I mean, I know obviously like once it's in situ, like where you want it, and you're not going to be moving it all the time, but when you are moving it, it is a bit of a pain because they constantly sort of come out from each other. And I guess like it's easier because you can, I guess, pull it apart and then have it in 2 bits rather than trying to transport or move something that's like 4 foot long. But I don't know, I kind of wish that it was like one continuous structure so that it had a little bit more strength in the middle of it, but that's quite a small thing to kind of complain about. Like I said, like once it's in position and it's fine. So yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. It was just a real pain when I was trying to get it on the shelf and when I was trying to actually move it. It kept sort of like coming apart, and then loads of bits from the top kept like popping off, and yeah, it was a bit of a pain. But yeah, that's just sort of like one bit that I kind of wanted to sort of mention and moan about a little bit. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, that like building this is actually quite repetitive because it is obviously just the same thing over and over again. But it didn't take too long to do. And these bags, obviously all the bits in there are quite big, so these bags, once they were open, they did not take long to get put together at all. And as you can see here, I'm trying to like put it together, and once it has been put together, it's fine. But yeah, it does kind of tend to sort of like bow in the middle, like when you pick it up it kind of does bow a little bit. So I feel like if that bit was a little bit stronger rather than just like 2 little Technic connectors in the middle, then perhaps that wouldn't happen. But I'm sure when they were designing this, obviously doing, you know, all different sorts of designs to try it out and whatever, and I'm sure this was the best situation. But yeah, I kind of feel like I would have preferred one long piece rather than 2 bits that connect together. But anyway, as you can see now, I'm building all of the bits that go on top, so all of the actual parts of the track. So this was incredibly repetitive. As you can see, it's literally just 24 of these that I was building, so I was kind of doing it all step by step. So the 3 steps that you can see in the book there, I did the first one 24 times, and I did the second one 24 times, and then I did the third one 24 times, just to kind of break it up a little bit and to kind of feel like it was done quicker. I don't actually know if it was done any quicker than if I'd just done step 1, 2 and 3 all in one go, but it definitely felt like it went quicker than if I was doing them all at the same time. But yeah, who really knows? But yeah, as you can see, it just yeah, really repetitive. And at this point I was kind of getting a little bit sick of it. And obviously I'm only in book 2 and I had like 2 more books to go. But at this point I was getting to the point where I was getting a little bit sick of Lego and building it. But I think that's just because obviously this particular part of it is so repetitive, like I've said. And yeah, there was no sort of like, there was no breaking it up, there was nothing kind of interesting going on as well, because obviously it's all the same and it's all just black, white and grey, or mainly just black and grey, so that was a bit annoying as well. But it was quite fun to see as I was like doing all of these, to see how like all the pieces were like disappearing so quickly. So yeah, that was at least a little silver lining. And obviously once the track was done and then I could start like putting each bit on it as I'd built it, that was quite nice as well. I liked that obviously I then had somewhere to like put all the bits that I was building, as opposed to obviously like if I'd built everything and then the track was the last thing that was built. I feel like that would kind of be a little bit annoying, because then obviously you would have everything built but nowhere to put it until like the very last second. But yeah, as you can see here, I then had to put all of these little plates on top, and that made up like the track pieces, and then I just had these long grey bits to go along like the actual track, like long ways, and then they were what actually like keep the wheels in. So there's a few bits here that I'm putting in that you can see that actually hold the train in place, so they hold it on there and kind of support it from underneath so that it's not fully on the wheels, and then that allows the wheels to actually spin as they should. So as you can see here, I'm putting the actual track pieces along, and then that basically allows me to put the actual train on top, onto those little support bits there, and then that obviously helps it turn, because obviously if the weight was fully on the actual track pieces, then the wheels either wouldn't turn, or if they did turn, it would then just like fly off the end. So obviously they are there to stop that from happening. But yeah, obviously as you can see, the track is built, and then we've got the little train bit on there now. And then the next thing that I had to build was the cart with all of the coal in. So this was also quite repetitive, especially since obviously I've just built the actual train bit. It felt like there was a lot of the same going on. That was definitely sort of a running theme through the whole of this, even in like the carriage, like the actual carriage, like the last bit that we do, like obviously the big like main bit. That all felt very repetitive as well, to be fair. So a lot of sets that I've done don't really tend to take me too long to do, but obviously this one is a massive set in the first place, so that's obviously another reason why it takes ages, is because there's just loads of bits to it and loads of small bits to put in and that sort of thing. But yeah, I just found this set actually quite repetitive, so I think I kind of spaced it out a little bit more, because if not, I was kind of just doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, I did definitely space this one out a little bit more than sort of building it in like 1 or 2 days. I did still enjoy building it, but obviously, like I said with the track, by the time I finished the track, I had enough of it. But yeah, this one wasn't too bad, because there was nothing sort of going on inside of it. It was just sort of building up the actual outsides of the carriage, and then obviously building the top as well to kind of show where like the coal is. And yeah, like I said before, we were still getting all of the minifigures, and all of the minifigures actually have a specific space inside of the final carriage that we build. So yeah, I really liked that about this as well, because I feel like in quite a lot of sets you get minifigures but you don't really know where to put them. I mean, I know like that's kind of part of the fun, you know, like with the play sets and stuff, that's up to you where you put them. But for someone that doesn't obviously play with them, I just kind of build them and put them on a shelf and leave them there. I did really like the fact that it shows where to put the different minifigures, and it shows obviously what they're supposed to be there for, and obviously it kind of like depicts a scene in the carriages, so I definitely liked that they had a specific place, because obviously I've not uploaded it yet, but definitely subscribe so that you don't miss it later in the year. But Diagon Alley, obviously there are so many minifigures with that one, but that was another one that was basically just like put them wherever you want to put them, which again, that's definitely not a problem, but I do also just do this thing where I kind of just line them all up, and yeah, I like how in this one there was kind of like a set position, like put this specific minifigure here, and obviously you don't have to, but that's how it's like designed in the book, and that's how it is technically supposed to look. So I did really like that about this one, which may sort of be a little bit controversial because I guess some people like the freedom. I would have thought, to be fair, most people like the freedom to be able to kind of like pick and choose where they put the minifigures, but yeah, I really liked how it was kind of set out for you in this. And yeah, like I said, make sure that you subscribe because my Diagon Alley video will be coming out later in the year, and also subscribe so that you don't miss parts 3 and 4 of this one. They will be out within the next couple of weeks, so yeah, definitely subscribe so that you don't miss those. And also if there are any other Lego sets that you want me to get and try out and build, let me know. To be fair, most of them I've probably got and I'm just waiting to build. I pretty much have a whole wardrobe full of Lego sets that I'm waiting to build, which I have mentioned before, but obviously if there's anybody new watching, then yeah, let me know if there's anything that you want to see me do, and then if I have got it, I can build that before I build anything else. But yeah, most of the stuff that I've got is Harry Potter, but if there's anything else that you want to see, then let me know and I would definitely consider doing it. But yeah, obviously you can see at this point I am building up the top of the cart, which is just the black bits at the top to show like the coal. So yeah, this was a little bit difficult to see in this in the lighting that I had, and because the book was so far away from me, because obviously I wanted to kind of leave it on the floor so that you guys are able to see it like while I'm building it. So because of the black, it did mean that I did actually miss out a couple of pieces and have to go back and put them in afterwards. But yeah, it wasn't too much of a problem, but there were just a couple like confusing little bits that I had to go back and do again. But that is definitely my fault, obviously being too far away from the book and not really looking at it properly. But yeah, I believe this is the last bag now, just sort of finishing touches over the top, just to sort of finish it off a little bit. And then yeah, this coal cart was pretty much done and ready to be attached onto the back of the train that we've already built. And then obviously we've got another little bit at the back of it to attach the carriage from book 3 into it. And yeah, one other thing that I did want to mention is that the Technics holes in the side of the track are there so that obviously you can't really see them, but they're there so that you can kind of position the platform wherever, because the platform clips into the bottom of the track, which I didn't actually realise to begin with. But yeah, it clips into the bottom of the track, and there are a few different holes that you can pick from, so you can kind of have it in any position that you want. So yeah, I really liked that, how you can kind of customise that and have that wherever you want to have it. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm just putting the wheels on the bottom of this cart, so that it can go and sit on the track along with the other train. Obviously I don't need to put like stoppers in for this one because it's not going to go anywhere because the other bit of the train is there. But yeah, that was this one finished, and make sure that you come back next week to see part 3.